G'day, my name's Ken Timms from K&J Burns Electrical and Refrigeration. Today I want to talk to you about 6 common mistakes with aircon installations into your home. The number one mistake that I see is the type of insulation used for the pipework for your aircon. Most people don't realise it, but some insulation can be a fire hazard and ignite and add to an existing fire or one that's already started. Other types of insulation are what's called fire rated, meaning they will not ignite, they may smoulder, they may smoke, but they don't put off embers and they will not add or ignite with an existing fire. To help with your clarification of these, I've brought in a couple of samples. Sorry about that. The first one is what we've all probably seen around the place, is this white insulation pair coil. Pair coil meaning pre-insulated pipework. So as you can see, this is a white minimum thickness wall, does the job and it's cheap. But that white one is not fire rated generally. So that can ignite, burn and cause a major fire in your house and be a safety hazard. As a rule, this black pre-insulated pipework like this, I'll bring it closer for an example. This is fire rated. It will not ignite, doesn't catch fire and add to an existing flame. It will smoulder and create smoke, but does not burn. Mistake number 2 is correct insulation size on those pipeworks that we just looked at. Now we've all been to houses where we see green mouldy mildew lines across ceilings or down walls. This happens because people have used the wrong insulation wall thickness on the pipework. If you remember back to the white pipe we looked at, the wall thickness on that was fairly minimal. It's about 8 to 10 mil, which means it compresses quite easily, can then have condensation build up, and as we all know in Darwin, it's humid. As soon as there's condensation, we have mould, we have mildew. Now even the 13 mil wall thickness, whilst it's perfect for external installations through duct work and anything like that outside, works great, it's exactly what we want. But if we're going to run pipe work through a ceiling space or down a wall where we get those terrible green lines from the mould and the mildew, we really need to use bigger walled insulation. I brought an example of that as well. Now this is 19 mil wall insulation. It's quite thick, and I'm going to bring it up closer to you so you can have a look and see how thick the wall is. This is what we use if we're going to run pipes through a ceiling space. That means we know we've got maximum wall thickness for insulation, so we will not get condensation build up on there, which can then create that unsightly mould and mildew that we've all seen and nobody likes. The white stuff that we looked at earlier is also quite bad with UV. If you leave it in the sun, it breaks down quickly, and within 12 months, you'll have bare copper pipes with no insulation at all. Whereas the black insulation lasts a lot longer, doesn't break down, and you physically got to tear it away before you have the bare copper pipes. Mistake number 3 that I come across all the time is when people supply their own aircons and they purchase the aircon from a white goods retailer. We all know the people that we're talking about. They don't install the aircon, they sell the aircon. They work on a generic size that they think they know is correct. They don't take into consideration other heat loads that you might have in your house. We've all been in small rooms that are really hot because there's lots of windows and no aircon. What you need to do is get someone that knows what they're talking about to come to your house and do a heat load calculation to work out what capacity aircon is going to be best for what you want to achieve. Number 4 is the licensing of the installer who puts your aircon in. This license is done by Arctic Australia, which is the Australian Refrigeration Council. If you're not sure that your installer is licensed, you can go to their website, look for the tick and check on their license to see whether they are a licensed installer. This license can create havoc if they don't have it, if something breaks down and you need to get warranty done. Sometimes it voids the warranty if it's not done by a licensed installer. The next part about installation licenses, if this is a brand new aircon installation, you need to have an electrical circuit run from your switchboard to the aircon. This must be done by an electrical contractor. And when they're finished, they must give you a certificate of compliance, or more commonly called a COC. This is to say that their work has been done to Australian standards and is compliant and will not be a hazard to your home. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about is, once again with the electrical side, is the type of isolator that electrical contractor uses. Now, I've brought a couple of samples for this because this is quite important. This is what everybody used to use as an isolator. It's a weatherproof surface mounted switch. And as we can see, I'll bring it closer, it's just a switch. Okay. What we now have to use is this, which once again is just a switch. And it does exactly the same features as that one, except for one little important thing. And as I bring it closer and point it out, you'll see that there is a hole right here. So that when it's turned in the off position, you can put a padlock through there and you can lock that. So it will not create any hazards if there's something wrong with that aircon. Because we all know some people have been killed by not being able to lock out circuits. So for the new standard state, we must install aircons with these switches. So if someone's using the other type of surface switch, that is wrong, and you need to talk to that person about getting it replaced soon.